Hi there, welcome to Long Distance Review, or welcome back to Long Distance Review if you are a returning viewer, which I hope you are. If you're not, though, welcome and thanks for watching. This week's music review, I'm going to look at American alt-rock legend Bob Mould and his new album that's come out this year called Sunshine Rock. Now, those of you who don't know who Bob Mould is, where have you been? But I'll go through his back catalogue a little bit. He was the founding member of legendary American alt-rock band Husker Du, and he was in that band from 1979 to 1987. Now, Husker Du are a incredibly, let's say, key band in what was the emerging alt-rock scene in America at the time. They combined sort of punk energy and with melodies. They've influenced a hell of a lot of bands in the early 90s, like Nirvana, for instance. Anyway, after Husker Du broke up in 1987, Bob Mould went solo, and he released his first debut album in 1989 called Workbook, and then followed that up in 1990 with Black Sheets of Rain. In the 90s, he went on to front the band called Sugar, and although I won't cover their discography as this is basically a Bob Mould solo album, I'll just say, if you haven't checked out Sugar, go check out Copper Blue. It's a great album. Anyway, after Sugar, he went back to being a solo artist and came back in 1996 with the album Bob Mould, self-titled. Followed it up then in 1998 with Lost Dog and Pony School. And then came out with the slightly odd synth keyboard orientated Modulate in 2002, and followed that up sort of drifting back into rock in 2005 with Body of Song. He then sort of came back to being the melodic alt-rock superstar we know him as in 2008 with District Line, and then released in 2009 Life and Times, and then in 2012 released the excellent Silver Age. And then the last two albums he's released, 2014, Beauty and Ruin, and 2016, Patch the Sky. So here we are, 2019, with Sunshine Rock. Now, as you can see from his discography, Bob Mould's an incredibly prolific artist. And for someone who's 58 years old, this is a testament to what a great artist this guy is. He's prolific. He always releases songs, always releases albums. And he never seems to relent. His career seems just relentless to me. Anyway, Sunshine Rock. The title kind of gives the game away a little bit. And especially from the opening song, which is the title track of the album, which sort of sparkles and jangles in, it sort of sets the tone for the album. This is a much sort of light melodic rock song which Bob Mould effortlessly produces throughout his entire career. But what's obvious is that there's a lot more optimism and positivity than on the last two albums, which were slightly more introverted, and he was slightly more in a depressed state at the time, much to his own admission. Positivity and optimism really shines through on these rock songs. But fear not. He is Bob Mould, and there is still sort of dark lyrical element going on here with the on the excellent What Do You Want Me to Do and the sort of defeatist I Fought, which carry a real sort of different tone lyrically to a lot of what this album sounds like, if you know what I mean. The songs are really punchy and hooky, and the raucous and brilliant 30 Dozen Roses is a real highlight of that. It bounces along at a hell of a pace. But there are the slower, more lamenting tracks, especially the very reflective Final Years, which sees Bob Mould sort of looking back on his life and looking forward on what he's got left in his career, with the excellent line, where did I put my sense of misplaced rage, over these sort of lush keyboards. This album wholly sort of feels like Bob Mould is reflecting on his career, but he's also looking forward and being happy and slightly more hopeful and optimistic, and being angry still, but angry sort of directed in the right way, I feel. Overall, this is a masterclass in songwriting. Bob Mould just writes these brilliant rock songs, brilliant alternative rock songs that seem so easy to write, but, like, you know, if they were that easy, why wouldn't everyone do it? But Bob Mould is a master at this, and every song is under 4 minutes long, and the album, I think, only clocks in at about 36 minutes itself. It feels wired and urgent, and that's a testament to the great man. It doesn't sound aged. The songs, they don't sound old or nostalgic. It sounds relevant and now and vibrant. Not criticism really, Bob Mould's vocals are always slightly down in the mix, I find, on this album. But I have found that on all of his other albums, let's say. And I just think that's how he mixes the albums. They're sometimes drowned under these melodies and strings and keyboards and synths and huge guitars. It's not really a criticism, it's just how it's mixed, I feel. Mind you, one song that I do feel is a little bit out of place is the sort of nursery rhyme-esque acoustic ballad called Camp Sunshine, which comes in about 3 or 4 tracks from the end, which is I can sort of see why it's there, but it just doesn't feel right with all the other songs. But anyway, that really is nitpicking, it's a minor criticism. But that's followed up with a stunning cover of Send Me a Postcard, which could be one of the highlights of the album. Bob Mould feels like an artist we take for granted. I mean, he's been around for so long, we just wholly expect him to release great album after great album, and then just don't really take any notice when he does. Which is a real shame, because if someone like, let's say, the Foo Fighters released an album like this, everyone would be raging about it, especially because Foo Fighters haven't done anything good in a long, long time. That's a conversation for another day. But if you are a fan of things like the Foo Fighters or the Pixies, or even if you're still hooked on Nirvana, this is for you. Really is. Go check out Bob Mould, check out his back catalogue. There's varying degrees of greatness, but he never really drops off at all. So there you go. Go check out Sunshine Rock. A really, really great album. Real summery vibe to it in the middle of winter, which is odd. But anyway, go check out Bob Mould. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below if you've got anything to say about the album. Cheers, and I'll see you soon.